Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new edition of the None of Your Business podcast. This is a None of Your Business short. Thanks for jumping in and being a part of our podcast. Hey, look, if you like the podcast, be sure to share it with somebody who you know could benefit. Be sure to subscribe, whether you're on iTunes, Spotify, Zoomify, Tripify, wherever it is, all the platforms.
All the fives.
Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you leave us a review as well so that we can continue to bring you amazing content that hopefully will help you to reach more people, make a bigger impact, create the lifestyle that you deserve. Hey, today I was thinking about, in this short time that we have with our listeners today and our viewers that are watching on video, that I wanted to talk about being busy. And I know that's a big deal to you too. Like, you value your time.
Yes, time is my commodity.
And people oftentimes, when we're talking about anything, we do coaching, consulting, and people have things to do. And then oftentimes, there's this excuse that, well, I'm just so busy. You don't understand, I'm so busy.
Right.
And I was listening to a podcast where someone was saying that, that's such a terrible thing to say in the world of high performers, in the world of successful people, that basically saying you're busy is an admission that you are not productive, that you are not disciplined, and that basically you're just like a giant loser, basically. So I'd love to get your take on that, have a short discussion about that, see what you think, and then maybe you have some tips for people that struggle with that. The people that are constantly measuring themselves against the world in terms of time.
Well, it's really interesting that you say that, because when I've always thought about saying those words, well, I'm so busy, I've never thought about what that sounds like or what it would be interpreted like to other people. I've always thought if I say those things that potentially I'm shutting off my time and space from like a, I don't know if you want to say an energy standpoint or a universal standpoint, but by actually, by actually speaking that out. Well, I'm so busy, I'm not allowing any other opportunity to come in.
Well, and that was the point of it, right?
Yeah.
So let's think about that. Like, if somebody was like, hey, I had this great idea, I would love to collaborate with you, I would like to hire you, I would like to have you come speak at my event, I would like to interview you, I would like anything, and you're like, oh no, I'm just so, and maybe they didn't even get the opportunity to make the offer.
Well, I was going to say, maybe they wouldn't even think of you in the first place if they've heard you say that before, right? Completely
maybe
shut
there's
down.
some discussion somewhere and they're like, let's get Lacey, and they're like, oh no,
but no, Lacey's super busy.
Ever talk to her? She's always busy.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I could see that. So, I mean, you're right. It is a struggle. I mean, I think that we all value our time a lot, and but you hear it all the time. I mean, and it's probably a little bit cliche, but it's absolutely true that, the most successful people on the planet, they have the same amount of minutes in the day as you.
Right. And
the reason that they're more successful is because they're more efficient with their time, right? They do more in their 1 minute than most of us do. And that's why they've been able to grow and scale the way that they have. At least that's the argument.
Right. But then those people that view the world that way, they are looking at other people that are not efficient, and they wouldn't want to work with them. They wouldn't want to hire them.
Right.
They wouldn't want to collaborate, partner with them. They would want to actually maintain a distance from them. And I found that discussion very interesting. I would tend to side more in alignment with that. Like, I don't think that I do say, but it is rarer that I would say that I'm so busy. And I do think that, I pride myself that I get a lot done, but I don't actually look at my calendar and think, oh my God, I'm so busy. And I know other people do. And I also know that people use I'm so busy as a crutch.
And you're going to say that.
Excuse. Yeah. Like, why didn't this get done? Well, I'm so busy. And really, I even think of that in terms of like managing a team. And you have one chronic, habitual, I'm so busy person. Well, that person probably is struggling with inefficiencies. They don't have the right tools to get the job done. Something else is wrong. That this one individual is more busy than everybody else, and they're not performing.
Right. So that's interesting. So what do you do if you feel like you're a person that's extremely busy? Well, I guess the number one thing is to notice that it's not that you're busy, it's that you're actually not efficient.
Yeah,
so it's kind of changing your perspective.
And in the book, if you don't have a copy of the book, jump on Amazon, go to None of Your Business. get a copy of the book, and we talk about this idea of writing down everything that you do.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I remember having a conversation, many years ago with somebody that was telling me, but Shawn, but I'm so busy. And I was like, wow, man, like, well, what do you do exactly? And I was like, why don't you just every single day at the end of the day, write down everything that you did and then share that with me? Because I'm pretty intrigued. Like, wow, what are you doing exactly? And then you find out, I mean, look, how much time are you spending on Facebook on social media? You're screwing around. And so it's not that you're so busy. It's that you're super inefficient and undisciplined with your time management.
Well, this is really interesting. Just even the terminology, because words do matter and words have power, right? But saying I'm so busy doesn't leave room for a solution. But saying like I'm not efficient with my time leaves room for lots of solutions.
Well,
right?
But it's harder to say, right?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'd love to, do a collaboration with you. I'd love to interview you.
I'm a little inefficient.
Well, imagine we reached out to a guest on the podcast and we're like, hey, we would love to bring you on the podcast and interview you. And the person was like, well, look, frankly, I'm just inefficient.
Well, no, but I'm talking about to yourself. You need to recognize that to yourself.
Oh,
that's the first step. Not like go out there and
say that
go
to
out
people.
there
Don't
and
post
tell
that on
everybody,
social media.
like,
I'm
hey,
inefficient.
I just found out today I'm not busy, I'm inefficient. That's probably not the best thing to tell your community, but recognizing that yourself, so that leaves room
to get efficient.
That leaves room to search out ways to become more efficient. Because when you feel like you're too busy and have too much on your plate, you feel like you can't offload anything. That it's all your responsibility.
Well, I mean,
right?
I think, and then takeaways here are one, document everything that you do. Because you have to be honest with yourself. How much time do you spend? And it's not waste, it's spend on social media.
Right.
Do you spend watching, Netflix, or do you spend cooking, or any of these activities that you do? For me, how much time do I spend in golf? Either practice or playing. Where is your time going? Where is it being allocated? And then what of those things that's on your plate should you not necessarily be doing because they could be delegated? I think for listeners of this podcast, you're in business, you're trying to serve people, you're trying to create a successful business, and that requires the act of delegation. Now, I can't delegate golf, or I might not be able to delegate Netflix, but there are other things that I might do, maybe reading emails or compiling emails or copywriting or
social media.
That I could delegate, right? Maybe I'm trying to do my own ads. Myron Golden shared a concept that poor-minded people, first of all, waste a lot of time trying to save a little money. Right. And rich-minded people, they spend a lot of money in an effort to just save a little bit of time because they understand the value, of the time. And so I think that's part of it too, is like what things that are on your plate can you delegate by spending money and offloading that. And that actually might free up more time for you to play golf or watch more Netflix, but it also could free up time for you to serve more people, be more efficient in your revenue generating activities. And I think that by definition right there, you start getting efficient. And there's other things you could do.
Well, I think it's also important for that exercise for you to notate and look at how much of your time during the day is uninterrupted. Because that's one of the things that we see the most, is that it's really hard to be efficient if you're not actually scheduling time to have uninterrupted focus to do certain things.
Well, one of my favorite things I noticed that a lot of successful people have scheduled time to think.
Right.
Like, man, that blew my mind. Like, you need time. Like, and some people have time. A lot of people, successful people, allocate time in their schedule, and it's to think. It's to think about my business. It's to strategize. It's to come up with new ideas. It's to think about what needs to be changed. It's dedicated thinking time, because most of us are just thinking on the fly. Right. And we, and then it's circumstantial. It might be emotionally charged. Right. It's not just sitting there and thinking about what we're going to do. And so, allocating time to all the things that are important. One of the things that's important is thinking, but there's a lot of things that are important as well. So being very careful with your time. We advocated in the book this planner, the Passion Planner. I'm a big believer that you need to, whether it's in your computer, written down, you need to be very structured with your time. Otherwise, it's super easy for it to get away from you. And I think that's what, a lot of people, it's like you're just not accounting for it. It's like you're not accounting for your money. It's easy to just all of a sudden, if you don't have a budget, if you're not accounting for your money, it's easy to spend a lot of money in an instant. Whereas if you are accounting and you're looking at it, you're more cognizant and conscious of that, you're going to spend less. Same thing with your time. If you're not accounting for your time, it's easy just to blow. I mean, how many times have, in both of us, like you're just like, wow, like I just wasted 3 hours.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't accounted. I guarantee you every time you've done that, it's not accounted for, and that's why it just got away from you.
That makes sense. I love that.
Well, I hope that everybody will get more serious about the time. And I will also hope that people will think about the next time that they say, I'm so busy. And understand you're not really that busy. You're just inefficient or ineffective in managing your time. And if you could get efficient, that will free up space for you to collaborate, do more business deals, make more money, all of the great things.
And think.
And all the great things that everybody wants to do. Anything else to add?
Nope.
All right, everybody, we'll be back again next week with a brand new edition of the None of Your Business podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope that you will subscribe, that you will like, review, do whatever it is, share, do whatever it is that you have to do to carry this message out to more and more people. Until next week.